It's a normal, relaxed vacation morning. The kids are upstairs. It's quiet. A visiting relative goes to the kitchen for a piece of newly baked pumpkin bread and looks out of the window over the kitchen sink. Because he was tall, he was able to see into an area of the neighbor's backyard, an area where someone was lying, face down. The peaceful morning suddenly changed.
My brother was visiting from out of town, from Wyoming, and as he was washing his hands, I was standing maybe 4 or 5 feet behind him in the center of the kitchen, a little island in the kitchen. And my brother just blurted out something about our neighbor.
He said, "Is your neighbor dead?"
And we all thought he was kidding.
We thought he was kidding, because who talks like that? Come on. So Rhett thought he was kidding, and then saw a serious look on his face and realized, oh, he's not kidding. Looked out the window.
And there she was, and I saw her face down, and her arms were at her side. She was face down in the grass. And I knew immediately something was wrong. That didn't look right. She must have had a heart attack or something.
And Rhett he's gonna be modest, but he sprang into action in the most amazing way. He gave us all directives, which is what a hero does. The average person panics, doesn't really second guesses himself or herself, but Rhett acted. And that's what that moment needed. So he said to me, call 911, and he was out the door.
So luckily their front door was unlocked. And so I opened the door, and it just seemed strange, bursting into your neighbor's house unannounced. But when I got through the front door, one of her granddaughters, a little girl named Mara, was there in her living room, and she was standing, and I know I scared her to death. She was shocked. She turned around because the front door burst open, and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, it's okay. I'm your neighbor. I think your grandma's in trouble. She's sick, and I need to get down to your backyard. How do I get down there?" And I got out to her, and she obviously something was wrong. I wasn't sure if she was alive or not. Her eyes were open, but she wasn't breathing. And I quickly kneeled down on my knees, and I was in a panic because this isn't something you see every day. And the thought came to mind, oh, you might have to do CPR here. And I was scared because there's a certain way of doing it, and I hadn't done it in a long time. And I'd never done it for real, and I hadn't done it for training in many, many years. So I had her kind of turned over, and I could tell she was not breathing at all. I kind of leaned over her, and so I gave her 2 breaths. And nothing really happened, and then I started on the chest compressions. And I remembered, the number that came to mind was 2 breaths and 30 compressions. That's the last thing I remembered being told or taught. So that's what I did. I gave her 30 compressions. I pinched her nose, and I gave her 2 more breaths. And it was incredible, if not shocking, what happened. It wasn't anything that was necessarily good or miraculous, but it was a surreal realization that giving her those breaths that way was exactly like the Recipient doll you train with. And I realized, I thought, well, I must be doing it right because her chest was rising, obviously air's going in there. So in that second set of 30 compressions, by that time Karen had come out on the back porch, and she was on the phone. And I didn't look up to see her, but I heard her yell down to me. She said, "Rhett, I'm on the phone with 911.
She talked me through, she asked if he knew what he was doing, and I said, maybe, I don't know.
And the dogs were all around. In fact, that was another funny thing. The dogs, they're wonderful dogs for them because they're very protective. And they're small dogs, but a couple of them were pretty intense. And one of them was biting my sleeve. Not me, but my sleeve. It was so surreal, it was funny almost, it was comical. And another dog was biting my pant leg, my left pant leg. I remember trying to shake him off and trying to get him away. And I was yelling at the dogs while I was yelling at Sharon, "Are you okay?" And "Are you there? Come on, stay with me?" That kind of stuff. I started in on compressions again, and the paramedics, I think there were 2 firemen, 2 firefighters showed up. And they said, "Hey, how you doing?" "You're doing great." And they were very positive, and they were incredibly calm. That's one thing that I'll never forget, is how calm they were and how professional they were. And so at some point they said, oh, hey, you've done a great job, thank you, we're gonna go ahead and take over, or we can take over now. And I said, oh, are you sure? I remember I said, are you sure? I'm asking the professionals if they're ready to take over. And they said, yeah, we're good to go, thank you very much. And they said, why don't you go in the house? At the end of the day, when everybody left and the granddaughters were back with their family and all that, it was like coming off of this huge high. I was exhausted. I was just, I think emotionally and somewhat physically, maybe because of the adrenaline, it was just this, it wasn't even late in the day, it was mid-morning until mid-afternoon, but it was like the longest day.
My name's Lori, and I'm Sharon's daughter, and just on behalf of her kids and grandkids and her extended family, I just wanted to thank Karen and Rhett's brother Joel for their quick action and decisiveness. And I'm not really sure how you can thank someone for saving your mom's life. There just aren't words to express our gratitude.
But I thank the Burbanks for every birthday, every holiday, every event, everything that I celebrate with my family is as a result of their courage and action. And I thank them very much.